we've got to get these two guys playing together. And so I was having him do just quarter notes on the cymbal, and you're just doing just quarter notes. And we're trying to get these quarter notes, excuse me, we're trying to get these quarter notes to strike exactly at the same moment with each other. Now the image that I use for that is a clock. And if this is 12 o'clock, every time this kind of millisecond sweep hand comes around, millisecond sweeps around to 12, there's the beat. Bam, 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 bam. Where the bass and drums line up and play exactly together, that's 12 o'clock. That's what defines 12 o'clock. But it's not uncommon to hear the bass player playing just a little lethargically. Maybe he's playing it like 10 minutes after 12. And the drummer usually tends to be more on top, so he might be like 5 minutes to 12. And the time is skewed. And we need to bring the time into focus there. And some people call that focusing the time or centering the time. But the most common terminology is locking up the time. We want the time locked in. And it's locked in when the bass and drummer play exactly together. Let's see if we can pull that off. And don't play simple, just quarter notes for a minute, all right? 2, and 1, 2, 3, and... One of that. Okay. And bam. Okay. This is going to be a pretty good time fill if we get that locked up that well. Show me the opposite. Not too serious yet, but just go a little off from each other. Maybe just play a little sluggish, play a little more on top, okay? See how it feels. 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Go a little more out now. Seriously, that's what you hear out there a lot. I remember adjudicating with Jeff Tower down in Arizona, and we're sitting apart. You know, he's over in the middle, I'm over on this side. We both have tape recorders. We're making comments to the people, and all of a sudden I hear Jeff, and he's got his pencil on the tape, and he's going, bap, 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 time, bap, 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 time, folks, bap, bap. But oh, it's a fight out there sometimes to try to get that time to lock up, you know. And you feel how bad it feels when it just goes a little askew. And then even really bad when it goes more askew. Yeah, good demonstration. The story is that Benny Goodman was a pretty tough guy to work for. And he didn't pay very well. And sometimes the rhythm section get really irritated at him. And so at the gig, they would just skew the time. Just a little. Not enough that Benny could figure out what's going on, but just so he could feel uncomfortable all night. I also saw a demonstration for the bass up at the Gene Harris. I was judging at the Gene Harris Jazz Festival in Boise, and this kid was playing real busy a lot. It was electric bass. He was playing a lot of notes, really busy all over the place, and the clinician had played bass with the Stan Kenton Orchestra. And he said, no, man, just play quarter notes and just to get the time happening. He says, well, I get really bored just playing time. And the clinician said, let me tell you, kid, if you get bored playing time, you ain't never played time. Because time feels good, you know. It's not boring to play good time. And sometimes we just plain have to simplify. A lot of times I will spend the time to say, quit doing that on that. Leave the snare out. All I want to hear is hi-hat and ride, and I only want to hear quarters on the ride, and I only want to hear quarters on the bass. Simplify, find the time, get it locked up. This can really save a lot of trouble to just work that way. Now, when we really play, though, there probably are some aberrations to these quarter notes. So what would we do on the ride cymbal? And you started out there, but I'd start simpler with just the quarters. So show us what you'd do. if you're doing more of the aberrations I'm talking about. In other words, the quarter note is still the basic thing, but there are some aberrations to the quarter note.
So the basic one is just to add, usually you add an and, the lit of the triplet, so triple lit, to between the quarter notes. So you can do.
Now this is a stereotype, and there are times when we actually do want to do that, but and it'd be more common when I really want that if it's on the hi-hat. Once in a while we have a thing where we just do that on the on a hi. Can you demonstrate on the hi-hat later? Sometimes that will be a stereotype that we really want, but typically the best drummers really aren't that predictable. It's more like ging 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 ging, and you don't know exactly where it's coming. It's more. Show us that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to really be so predictable all the time. If I am doing ding ding da ding, we do usually like a little emphasis on 2 and 4 on the ride cymbal. Can you show us that? 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Yeah. And of course the hi-hat is doing that and reinforcing that. We'll see that comes back. That idea comes back though on the guitar and sometimes even on the bass. But now, what does the bass do about these little aberrations? So he's gone bing, 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 ba-ding, ga-ding, gang, gang, ba-ding, gang, 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 ba-da-ga-da-bong, gang, gang, ba-dong, gang, gang. Can you show us that? Show us a triplet too. Yeah. Great. So even though he's doing those little ba-da things and ba-da whatever, they never interfere with the quarter note. Can you tell? And that's also true on there. There was a trio concert up at the Jazz at the Capitol now it is, Capitol Theater, and they have trio. Sometimes they'll do clinics around that, and they had the Benny Green Trio, and Christian McBride was playing bass, and Lewis Nash was playing drums, and they got talking about this, and Christian says, "Oh yeah, I can go," but he says, "I make all my money going boom, 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 boom." And Lewis Nash says, "Yeah, I can go, but I make all my money going ding, 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 ding." That's where the money is, when you can play time and keep the pulse, Yeah. So these are a few of the things that I find that I'm always working with in the public schools with the bass and the drums, and we don't want those little aberrations to interfere with the time in the horns either. Do you remember we talked about this a few weeks ago, what I call a quarter note feel? Mm-hmm. The horns are playing boo da dee ba 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 doo ba da, chord, quarter, 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 quarter. Even though I'm playing eighth notes, I'm playing constant eighth notes, but they feel like quarter notes. And I want those quarter notes in my playing to line up with those quarter notes in their playing, and now we got a time feel really happening. See, we've got the horns playing in time, so we want those quarter notes in the horns too. Really, it's kind of the same attitude. Because if I was notating, dong dong gang gang dong 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 dong, 9 times out of 10 it's probably written as straight eighth notes. It might be written as a dotted 8/16 once in a while, but a lot of times it's written straight, and it could be the same on this ding-ga-ding on the ride cymbal, where it looks just about the same as the horn parts look, but they're not playing eighth note feel; they're playing quarter note feel. And I think that this is where we really start getting the time feel working with the band. Is that quarter note feel happens here? It emanates from here. The horns are playing with the quarter note feel, and we lock it up from the horns to the rhythm section as well, and now it feels good. And, we don't tend to work on the principle of liking to repeat things that don't feel good. It's like, oh, here, oh, yeah, that hurts. Try it again. Oh, yeah, do it some more. Ow! Oh, more! That's not how we operate as human beings. We repeat pleasurable activities, things that feel good, you know. The quickest way to turn off your audience is have bad time. If you get good time happening, you know what's happening out in the audience? They can't keep still. They have to be moving their foot or moving their hands or their heads bobbing or something's moving. If you look out and you see people moving, you say, we must be doing a good job. If nobody's moving out there, there's probably a problem. Because when time feels good, people get invested in it. And that's what we got to do here. That's our really important role. Now, how do we get the piano working with this? And Louis Armstrong really said this first. He said, jazz doesn't exist until there's a conflict of rhythms. And what does he really mean by that? The piano is going to provide syncopated counterfoil to all this quarter note stuff. Now, it needs to be still in the swing rhythms. So we need downbeat material on the downbeat and upbeat material late in the beat. To get a good comping feel. It's the same as everything we've talked about rhythmically before now. But why don't you? What key are we in?
B flat.
Why don't you comp? We're just comping a B flat blues, and you just comp with it now and show us how we might set up a conflict of rhythms here. All right.
Okay.
All right. What's that?
You want me as well?
Yeah. I'll